Hey guys, this is Wildcat Shane Parsons coming at you with the Pro Wrestling Power Podcast review of the Saudi Showdown. Yeah, this was a show. It's typically just a glorified house show, but they changed that up a little bit. We'll definitely get to that later. Lots of stuff to talk about. Lots. It started out with the pre-show as the Viking Raiders were the OC. The Viking Raiders have been featured a lot with Kevin Owens in a main event spot on Raw. So, of course, and the OC's been losing. They've been used as enhancement talent to get some other people over. You know, Ricochet, all those kinds of stuff. It was a solid pre-show match. The crowd was kind of dead most of the night. So you didn't really know. It was supposed to get the crowd hyped, but there's actually a spot later on where you see a guy with like earbuds in. He's listening to something else, and he's sitting in the front row. It's like, seriously, guys, you're kind of at it. Anyway, there's not really a whole lot to say about it. There was a 300-pounder plus who attempted a moonsault. I got some Hugh Morris flashbacks. Of course, he missed it. Thankfully for somebody's ribs that were in the ring. And the OC hit a magic killer for the win. Apparently Gallows and Anderson are only allowed to win overseas. They're not allowed to win on American soil. Because this is the place they were labeled, they won a tournament to be the best tag team in the world. And I don't think they've won more than 10 matches stateside since. So that says a lot for the best tag team in the world. I love them because they're great. But then we get to the actual beginning of the show. The Tuwang Mountain Trophy Gauntlet match. It's prestigious. And if you're not sure if it's prestigious, they only reminded you 475 million times during the match. It's the first time we've ever done this, but it's so prestigious. Yay, Saudi money. Anyway, R-Truth's out there, and he keeps winning despite himself. It's actually kind of entertaining. I love R-Truth. He's like 50, and he's still out there. He's in the mid-card, where, 50-year-olds actually belong. This is a rant for later. Hold on to that thought. And, he beats Andrade with a random, head bump. He beats the U.S. champion because they accidentally bump heads, and R-Truth just happens to fall on top of him. I like it. It's brilliant. It doesn't weaken anybody. It's like this random little moment. Okay. It made it feel kind of real. You could suspend belief and be like, okay, yeah, they bumped heads and he went down. It kind of made sense to me. And then we have he beat Lashley. That was interesting. And then Eric Rowan comes out, and he's got his cage with him, and the cage gets knocked off the mat, and he's so frustrated and paying attention to the cage, and he gets so mad, he picks up the ring stairs, and he hits R-Truth with the ring stairs, and gets himself disqualified. So R-Truth's winning because he just happens to be winning. And then, of course, AJ Styles comes out. And he's just, brilliant AJ Styles. He's dancing, and then he'll kick R-Truth for a while, and he'll dance again, and just make fun of the whole situation, just completely healing it up. And then he wins with the calf crusher. Who knew submissions can still win a wrestling match in today's day and time? Not everybody has to. Submission holds are supposed to end things. Can we get back to that? Psychology, it works. People will believe it if you make somebody tap out. Happens in UFC a lot. That's real fighting. Can we get back to these things, please? Maybe? Anyway, Rey Mysterio is supposed to be the last opponent to come out. His music hits and he doesn't come out. And AJ's in the ring hamming it up. He's like, guys, he's not coming out. Ring the bell. Give me my trophy. And for some reason, a camera man gets smart. He takes the camera to the back. and he shows Rey Mysterio getting beat up by AJ's buddies, Gallows and Anderson. And of course, the ref starts a 10 count, and out come, and you see Gallows and Anderson start flying, and it's like, wait a minute, what's going on here? Oh, there's rumors of somebody, and the dead man appears. The Undertaker, who takes 3 hours to get to the ring. He's getting older. It happens. It's a thing. I mean, epic entrance and all that. He comes out, he choke slams AJ, and he wins the prestigious 2-weight mountain trophy. Congratulations, Undertaker. It does set them up for the rumored WrestleMania match that we're going to get. That'll be entertaining, because Taker's, this is smart booking on their part, because Taker's getting up there in age. He's not going to be able to do a lot of the same stuff he's been doing in the ring that made us love him so much. But if there's anybody that can get a good match out of him, it's AJ Styles, who's probably one of the top 3 in the world right now, performer-wise. Then we get Miz and Morrison versus the New Day for the Smackdown Tag Team Championships. Good news, the crowd finally woke up. I think somebody was giving out free candy or something. I don't know, but the crowd actually paid attention to that. And it was a great match, which seems to be par for the course for these guys. They have good chemistry working together. Kofi took a scary looking bump. He took a trust fall over the top rope and landed back first on the mat. It was like 10, 12 foot fall. Solid back, and those little pads on the side don't do a whole lot to help break the fall. But he gets up. Actually, he's the one that loses the match for the New Day. He eats a chair shot to the gut and gets rolled up. Miz grabs the tight, and we have new tag champs. It was nice when it's nice for there to be title changes on these Saudi shows, to make it not feel like such a glorified house show. Well, let me retcon that a little bit. It's nice to have this title change, because this one makes sense. This one puts over a really good tag team. It gets somebody in the division, make them a big deal. Besides the New Day, besides the Usos, you get some more diversity there. Then we get Angel Garza and Humberto Carrillo. Dead crowd for a really decent match. These two work well together. They have good chemistry. It's been done a lot. It wasn't as good as their match on Raw, but it was still better than other matches that we've seen. But can we get Garza and Andrade for WrestleMania for the U.S. belt? Because I think that could potentially be match of the night. It could potentially steal the show. I want to see it. Actually, get down in the comments and let me know. Are there any matchups that you want to see for WrestleMania? Or that you're excited about, or that you would want a fantasy book and try to get? There's a lot of rumor out there. This is the one I personally want to see. I want Andrade. I want Angel Garza. I think it'd tear the roof off the place. Then we have Rollins and Murphy versus the Street Profits. Let's paint my numbers. There's a formula for tag matches, and that's what we got. There's some interference spots outside the ring. Nothing really spectacular outside. Montez Ford was scraping the rafters on a frog splash. That's crazy high. You have to look at that spot for sure. Rollins with a distracted curb stomp so that Murphy could get the pin. I mean, I'm interested to see where all that storyline's going for WrestleMania. The Monday Night Messiah Seth Rollins. It's a little weird. We have local boy Mansoor versus Dolph Ziggler. I said it in my Raw review. Dolph Ziggler seems to be that gate holder kind of guy. You put him out there with a newer talent to see if there's anything worth working on. And basically, if I were going to write a news blurb about it, or a tweet or whatever, it'd be, Local boy with potential gets a sloppy win over Ziggler. Because Mansoor looks, he's got potential. There's some spots that were sloppy here and there. There were some, especially, dude, actually that finish, I hope Dolph's ribs are okay. Because Mansoor wins with a moonsault off the top rope. And Dolph caught both of his knees in his gut. So, I mean, it looked nasty. So, Dolph, I hope you're good. But, and he got a little promo. Apparently, he's the only person allowed to win in his hometown. Because that's a thing WWE does. Everybody loses in their hometown. Sarah Logan was the last one to have to do it in Lexington. It's just a tradition they have. But, he's starting like the Undertaker streak, but it's the Mansoor Saudi streak. He's like 4-0. How long do we keep this going? It'd be interesting. Then we have the title match for Raw, and what else do I need to say but Brock killed Ricochet? The promo by Ricochet saying that he could / would win the match actually lasted longer than the match itself. So he didn't even get any offense. Like the mosquito that bit Brock on the way down the match, down to the ring for the match, actually did more than Ricochet did during the fight. If that tells you anything. Then we move on to the women's title match. Naomi and Bayley. This was solid. Sorry Deontay Wilder, but I actually think these two were a bit hampered by the extra gear required for women to perform in Saudi Arabia. There were spots that they didn't. It took a little bit away from their athleticism, and you could tell it bothered them a little bit in the match. But I'll give WWE credit. The ring gear was used fairly creatively in the finish. Bayley used the t-shirt to trap Naomi's foot and then smashed her face into the mat to retain her title. It was solid. It looked a little wonky because like Naomi wasn't getting as much height as she usually does on stuff. Bayley wasn't as fluid with some of her moves, and just I think the gear did bother him a little bit. I was thinking this was the WrestleMania feud for the Smackdown Women's Belt. My question is, where do both the ladies go from here? I mean, Carmella, SmackDown's women's roster isn't that deep. Seems to be kind of a problem that they're having. Bayley's she's got the longest title run right now, and she's kind of the forgotten woman out there, which is disappointing because she's done it. This heel turn's been great for her. Now for the moment everyone's talking about. And I don't mean Goldberg's mistimed pyro on the way to the ring. I mean, seriously, for as much money as we spent on fireworks for this event, it seriously looked like two 4th of Julys every time somebody came to the ring. They were everywhere, explosions, lasers. And I was wondering when Kiss was going to come out and perform. It was just craziness. But as much as we spent on fireworks and pyro and lasers. This 20-plus-year-old entrance is the thing that we screw up? I mean, come on! It's Goldberg versus The Fiend. And I can basically give you the whole rundown of the match right here. There's a bit of a stare down, a spear. The Fiend kicks out at 1. He gets the mandible claw. Goldberg gets out of that. He spears the Fiend a couple more times. Of course, Wyatt no-sells them. And Goldberg has this look on his face like, okay, that's not supposed to happen. And Fiend goes for another mandible claw, and it doesn't work. Goldberg hits a, we'll be generous and call it a modified jackhammer. Look, I know you're 53. I know Bray's not the smallest of men. He's a good-sized boy. But this is this is a finishing move. This is one thing we're supposed to get right. And you messed it up against Taker. And you messed it up. Does it not work in Saudi Arabia? Is that kind of the thing that's going on? But Goldberg wins for the 3 count. We have a new champion. It's 53-year-old Goldberg. The Fiend gets up, disappears into the dark. Okay. There's a lot of anger, a lot of frustration, a lot of ranting on social media about, you ruined the Fiend, you ruined the Fiend. I'm not happy with it. I mean, personally, it's not the best of booking decisions, because all it really feels like is we're going to get Goldberg versus Roman Reigns at WrestleMania. Reigns is going to win the belt, and it was a way. People are going to be okay with Reigns taking the belt from Goldberg. But there would have been full-out riots if Roman Reigns had taken the belt from the Fiend. So basically, Bray Wyatt loses pointlessly so that we won't boo Roman Reigns. So guys, you know your duty. When Reigns beats Goldberg, we have to boo. Because they're trying to book around it. I mean, I don't have anything wrong with Roman Reigns. I like him as a performer. The force feeding. The let's continually get The Rock's cousin over. And this booking decision, it makes it feel like they know that they're force feeding at this point. So they're trying to work around crowd reactions. I mean, we do get John Cena versus The Fiend, which I think would be an even better feud if the belt was there. But instead we decided to put it on Goldberg, who doesn't need... Bill Goldberg, Roman Reigns was going to be 2 bulls just butting heads, both with the same moveset. You know, they hit the spear. It'd be high impact, high energy. That match doesn't need the belt. And Reigns beating Goldberg in itself would be enough of a big moment. Cena versus The Fiend, storytelling wise, you would get, does Cena beat this unbeatable monster to break Ric Flair's record? In this trying to force feed Reigns, you cost yourself money. I mean, granted, I get it. The whole company took a heel turn here because everybody's whining and complaining and fussing and getting angry about it on Twitter. And, you know, to use the phrase, controversy means cash. So maybe that was your goal, just to piss everybody off so they talk about it. If so, well done, good job, well played. But I've seen your Smackdown shows and how it hasn't been booked that well, and I don't think you're that smart. I'm not giving you that much credit. Prove me wrong, though. Anyway, that was I think we're going to try to do this for every pay-per-view. Not sure. We'll be discussing it. But thank you. If you disagree, if you think I'm right, if you want to tell me I'm a total moron, get on down in the comments. Please like and subscribe. Thank you. Y'all have a good day. Welcome everybody. It's time to talk about Smackdown. This is the show after the Saudi Super Showdown, so there's a lot to cover. Anyway, it starts with Goldberg in the ring with the belt that he took from Bray Wyatt. And Goldberg's being booed. Michael Cole's trying to put him over, saying that the picture of Goldberg with the belt was the most liked picture in the history of WWE social media. I'm tending to not buy it, but that's neither here nor there. Because Goldberg says all of that, it's not important who has the belt, the only important question is who's next. And of course Roman Reigns volunteers. He comes out, and they keep it short, they keep it simple. He just says, I'm next. Which, if you remember classic WCW era, if Goldberg said you were next, that means you lose. So I'm not sure why Roman would volunteer for that. But apparently all you have to do to get a WrestleMania match is either point at a sign, declare you want one, or wait, is an Elimination Chamber going to happen? weren't they going to have a #1 contenders elimination chamber match that I seem to remember Sheamus said he was going to be part of it. Are we burying the pay-per-view and just ignoring the fact that we still have to have matches just to get Roman Goldberg? Like, the mental gymnastics, the booking gymnastics that are going on right now to attempt to get Roman Reigns over at WrestleMania is crazy. I mean, if you have to go around your butthole to get to your elbow, just to try to get somebody to be celebrated and not booed, then it seems to me that it's not a good decision. Look, I like Roman Reigns. Let's get this out there. He's a good worker. He's got a good look. He's on the mic, but people have gotten over without being good on the mic before. And he's had some really, really great matches, like him and AJ Styles. That series that they had for the belt, those were brilliantly done. They're well fought. Like, yeah, he has this kind of potential. But if you got to go, like I said, if you got to go through all this crazy shenanigans to get him cheered instead of booed, then maybe we shouldn't be doing this. I mean, like I said, I like Roman. I just wish WWE would quit deciding it's his time and trying to force the booking. Let it happen organically, let it happen naturally. It works if people get themselves over. That's Bray Wyatt. That's why why people are happy to see The Fiend. He got himself over. Yeah. Roman got cheered, so I guess there were some jeers in there too. So it'll be interesting to see how the crowd reacts as this all plays out. Anyways, on to Bayley and Naomi, and then they're wrestling a little bit. Sasha comes out, and they start beating up on her. Lacey Evans comes out to make the save. Yay, face turn Lacey. We're getting more reasons to care about her. Naomi and Lacey win the match after Bayley gets rolled up from a sunset flip. Okay. I mean, hopefully this is us setting up Sasha Banks and Bayley for WrestleMania. I look forward to that. That'll be good. And now we have the glorious Bobby Roode versus Kofi Kingston. I was really surprised that Bobby Roode won. I didn't know that. Apparently, I thought, according to recent shows, he was like the jobber with the best entrance ever. There's a couple of funny spots in here. One where Bobby Roode channels his inner Eddie Guerrero. He's out on outside the ring with Big E, and he kicks the ring stairs, and he falls over, and he's laying there, and the ref sees it, and the ref throws Big E away from ringside, and it's just this weird, funny. It's a good moment, and of course he wins with a roll up after Dolph takes Kofi's attention away. Overall solid. Good segment where Sonya and Mandy are backstage, and Sonya Deville calls Dolph Mandy's man. Just sadness. And then, of course, if we're not sad enough already, they cut to Otis and Tucker, and just Otis is still in mourning. He doesn't understand why this happened to him, why it's all played out the way it has. And Tucker's just trying to be a good friend. Like, he has this, he's like, look, this happened. I'm sorry it happened. We just got to move on. We got to keep pressing on. But darn you, Kevin Nash, for sending that text. You ruin everything. But it's the angle I care more about than I should. Bravo, WWE. Which moves us on to the contract signing for the Intercontinental title. It looks like we're going to get Nakamura, Cesaro, and Sami Zayn against Braun Strowman for the Intercontinental title. How cool would it be to see those three defend the Intercontinental title, Fabulous Freebird style? That's not what we're going to get, but how awesome would that be to have three guys be the IC champ for a little bit? Braun's going to destroy all three of them, and after they beat him up post contract signing, he may actually kill one of them. Who knows? All this stuff, that's the one match that we know we're guaranteed we're getting for Elimination Chamber. The rest of, at this point, the rest of them are kind of up in the air. That pay-per-view, too many pay-per-views, all in one segment. We got the Saudi Super Showdown, then Elimination Chamber, and then we got WrestleMania, and we're all trying to pile everything all together and make storyline sense, and you're trying to do too much, and it's showing up in the shows. Then there's Daniel Bryan versus Curtis Axel. The things they're doing with Daniel Bryan right now, I love. I mean, after the shock that Curtis Axel is still actually in the company, bravo, whoever found him in the moving van and dusted him off. I'm glad. It was a solid match. Drew Gulak's on commentary. Of course, Bryan wins, but I'm liking this idea of Daniel Bryan and Drew Gulak. It's fresh, it's new, exciting. Okay, yeah, we're still talking about Smackdown. I'm surprised I'm still talking about Smackdown with those three words together, but hey, bravo. And your new tag champs, Miz and Morrison versus the Usos. And the new tag champs lose clean in the middle of the... And the new tag champs lose clean. Anyway, at least we get that huge Elimination Chamber tag match with Rudolph, Bobby Roode, Dolph Ziggler, Heavy Machinery, Miz and Morrison, New Day, Usos, and the Lucha House Party to decide who the tag team champions are for SmackDown. I don't get it. It's weird and I don't get it. Yeah, I'm not sure where the booking's going on here. Because Miz and Morrison are a heel tag team, and people were super excited to see them win it. Tell me I'm wrong to kind of be concerned about this one. But the next segment, it was John Cena. He's back. And of course Boston exploded for it. It was like The Rock, Stone Cold, and Ric Flair, all three returned at the same time to pop of the crowd. It was crazy. It's the first time I've seen an entire crowd excited to see John Cena in a long time. He gives this promo. He's talking about how it's WrestleMania season. And he tells them he's doing nothing for WrestleMania season because you got to earn that spot. You got to be around. You gotta participate. Everybody works so hard to get these spots. And then the lights go out, and the Fiend shows up, and all the Fiend does, in WrestleMania season fashion, is point at the sign. And Cena tips his hat, in typical John Cena fashion. I'll admit it, it's a big moment. I'm excited about it. It's going to be a great match. Hopefully they let the Fiend win, put him over, try to build that back up. But it's a little weird though, given that Cena had just given this big speech about not earning it, and how he wasn't doing anything at WrestleMania, and all it took was the Fiend walking out and going. It seems like, okay, I guess. We'll do it. Why not? Since you wanna. I mean, it's exciting, but that moment was a little weird. I just don't get why it can't be for the belt. Because that story is so much better than the one that we're getting with Roman and Goldberg. I mean, that's going to be a good match. We could do that match anyway. It doesn't need the belt to put Roman over. Roman beats Goldberg. That is a huge thing. Goldberg's a huge name. He's been a big name for 20 plus years. So that could be, you know, Roman retires Goldberg. And that helps put him over. I mean, he's also technically retired Undertaker, but this is part of the problem. Anyway, but you could get The Fiend, this unbeatable monster, versus John Cena, trying to break the record for how many titles he's held. That's compelling. That's great storytelling, and that's why all this is frustrating. Anyway, please remember, leave a comment for us, like, subscribe, tell us what you like, tell us what you don't like. Tell me how, I don't know. Please tell me that that I'm wrong with being so confused with how things are getting booked right now. Anyway, thanks for watching.
Hey guys, it's that time. It's that time for the pay-per-views. Pay-per-view specials of the week! So you just heard about WWE Super Showdown. Now it's time to talk about what I was waiting for. AEW Revolution. Overall, good job guys, good job. Excellent pay-per-view. There was a few downs, but there was mostly ups. So I can't complain too much. Anyways, we have a lot to go over. A lot of matches. A whole lot of matches. First, we're going to talk about the buy-in, because the buy-in was very interesting. The buy-in was the Dark Order versus SCU. So, everybody was waiting for this week. They were like, oh, are they going to reveal somebody? Of course they can't reveal Matt Hardy, because obviously it's not midnight yet. It's the first thing. It's the buy-in. It can't be Matt Hardy. There's no freaking way. And of course it wasn't Matt Hardy. There was somebody in a cloak. Not Matt Hardy, but we'll get to that in just a minute. Anyways, it was an average match. I mean, Dark Order said before they have their orders, whatever, and they said they were going to take down SCU, which they did do. They took the win on this one. It was an okay match. Evil Uno and Stu Grayson are not that great a team, so I'm hoping we get Matt Hardy. Right now he's a free agent, and he turned down that NXT role from what I heard. So we'll see fairly shortly what's going to happen with that. Anyways, after the match was over, the Creepers come down. You know, they start to beat down SCU, even though they won, because they're heels. They're going to do that anyways. And then what do we hear? What do we hear? Music hits. Boom, 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 boom. Everybody freaking pops. Everybody freaking pops. And who is it? Freaking Colt Cabana from NWA. That's right, the two shows coming together. That's because AEW and NWA have an agreement where they can use each other's wrestlers. That's right. Anyways, Colt Cabana comes down, starts to help SCU from getting beat down by the Creepers. He helps for a second or two, and then there's just too many Creepers. They're just taking over the whole ring. So, anyways, right after that happens, mysterious figure comes out. Oh yeah, mysterious figure in a black cloak. I knew from the get-go it wasn't the Exalted One, because the cloak looked really cheesy, really cheap. I was like, alright, this is just some stupid gimmick. Pulls off the cloak, it's Christopher Daniels, comes down, helps him out, beats off the Creepers. So, yeah, it was alright. You know, we're still waiting to see who's going to be the Exalted One. I think we'll know something soon. I think we'll know something by Dynamite, hopefully this Wednesday. We'll see. Hopefully so. Hopefully it's Matt. It might not be Matt. Matt might be wanting to take, like, 2 or 3 weeks off and then show up, say, towards the end of the month, just to have a little time off, with his family and stuff. So, anyways, I gave this match, it was an average match. I gave it a rating 5 years out of 10. Moving on, now we get to the show. The buy-in is the free part on YouTube. Now we get to the show. Most of these matches tonight are revenge matches. So the first revenge match, which is almost every match on the card, Jack Hagar versus Dustin Rhodes. Now, on this one, I was like, okay, so we really want Dustin to win. Everybody wants Dustin to win, but unfortunately, it didn't happen this one. Sorry, guys. He really tried. They put on a really good effort. There was a couple of botched moves. Not Dustin's best match, I'd have to say. And I think it's because Jack Hagar's been out of the ring for a little bit, so he's a little rusty in front of the live audience and stuff. So Jack Hagar uses MMA skills to pretty much take down Dustin. Dustin had some comebacks here and there, and a couple of false pins, but ended up he put the MMA move on him, and Jack Hagar will take the win via the submission triangle. Yeah. One funny thing did happen though. At the beginning of the match, Jack Hagar has his like hot girlfriend out there, and he goes over and gives her a big old kiss. During the match a little bit, when Dustin starts to take over a little bit, he gets a little heat. He runs over there. He's got like, on this one, he's got like his makeup, but in like a Joker version of it. Instead of like halfway down the face, he's got it like down this like the Joker. He grabs the Hagar's girl and gives her a big old smooch on the face. She's got red stuff all over her face. Pretty freaking funny. Like I said, not his best match, but a good effort. I gave this one 6 years out of 10. Match number 2 tonight. Another revenge match. We have Darby Allin versus Sammy Guevara. Now you may remember that Darby Allin had his throat hit, you know, with that skateboard, with his own skateboard from Sammy Guevara, so it was a revenge match. This match was really good. A really good effort by both of them. Sammy is very quick on his feet, and so is Darby Allin, so it was a fast-paced match right out of the get-go. Darby Allin just bust out as soon as Sammy got in the ring, just started beating him down before the bell even rang. It was really good. A lot of high spots, no botches that I saw whatsoever. Yeah, really good fast-paced match. If you like fast matches, this one's a really good one to check out. Not slow at all. Not slow at all. At the end of it, Darby Allin will hit Sammy Guevara with the coffin drop and take the W. He'll take the W on this one. And right after that, he grabs a skateboard and tries to hit Sammy in the throat with it to get that revenge, you know. But Jack Hagar runs back out from, you know, he just wrestled and he comes right back out and grabs Sammy and yanks him to the back so Sammy doesn't get it to the throat. Anyways, I gave this match rating at 8 years out of 10. Moving on to match number 3, the Tag Team Championship. Oh man, this was an endurance round. And I say that in a good way because I gave this one a high rating as well. This was the Young Bucks versus Kenny Omega with Hangman Adam Page. What's interesting, I don't go through these matches, you know, play by play because we'll be here all day talking about them. I'm not an announcer by any means, so I kind of just cut to the point and give you the overall view of what I saw. So basically, there's a storyline that's been building where Hangman Adam Page has been doing the Scott Hall drinking thing, whatever. He's almost like breaking away from the Elite. And he did. He pretty much did in this one. He turned pretty much full heel, spat in Matt Jackson's face. Matt lost his mind. It was odd. I mean, it was a really good match, but it was odd to see. The Young Bucks are both baby faces. Kenny Omega is a baby face, and his tag team partner is now technically a heel. So you have a tag team that there's one guy who's a baby face, one guy's a heel. I don't think I've ever seen that before. It's very interesting, and it kind of works. I mean, it's different, but hey, if it works, it works. This, like I said, this was an endurance match. I mean, it was move for move for move. Young Bucks were hitting them with everything they had, and Kenny Omega was hitting V-triggers left and right. Almost was too much, but it was an incredible match. It was like, oh my goodness, it was just off the charts endurance. It was crazy. Really good match. You gotta check this out. Kenny Omega and Hangman Page will retain the titles via the V-trigger / buckshot lariat double finisher, just like last week. I gave this match a rating 8 years out of 10. Moving quickly on. Not everything was good in the show. like I said at the beginning, there's going to be ups and there's going to be downs. So I don't know what happened here. This is the women's title match, and like I explained before last week, their women's division is very, very weak. And we don't get into why it's weak. You can watch it for yourself and form your own opinion on why it's weak. But we had Nyla Rose versus Chris Statlander. I like Chris Statlander. She's great. But I'm starting to see maybe it's her that's the problem now. So Chris botched many moves. She was slow in the ring. Now, I don't know if this is like a work or whatever is going on, but the announcers were talking about her having the flu or something all week. I'm like, okay, if she had the flu, change the match out, you know? You don't need a performer in there like that's been sick all week with the flu, jumping in the ring, trying to go full throttle. It's just going to make the match bad. Yeah, it was very sloppy, very slow. Neither one of them was selling any moves. I would say so far in 2020 it was the worst match I've seen all year long. All year long, worst match. Yeah, one big problem was there was a suplex that Chris Statlander botched hardcore. She slipped and fell off the rope as she was trying to lift Nyla over. It looked god awful, just god awful. And that wasn't the only botch. There was multiple botches. There was a botch where she did a tope suicida. Sorry, I can't ever remember because they call it tope suicida over in AEW. It's weird. But anyways, suicide dive everywhere else, WWE particularly. She did one of those and totally missed. Like totally missed, and you could tell that she meant to hit her, and it was, woo, it looked awful. Just awful, man. Holy crap, it looked awful. Another bad part of it, several moments in the match, you could hear Chris's mic. The camera was too close to the mic. You could hear her telling Nyla what she was about to do and all this. That is a big no-no in professional wrestling. We don't need to hear what you're saying because we're supposed to be enveloped in the illusion that this is a real thing. We all know the real deal about pro wrestling. But nowadays, how it is I'm supposed to be in this fantasy that I think it's real. And I couldn't put myself in there when the mics were going off like that. Multiple times it happened, and it's horrible for that to happen. You don't want to hear that. That's like the worst thing you can do other than botching moves. Anyways, I gave this match rating a 2 yes out of 10. The reason I give it 2 is because 2 people showed up to fight, and 2 people left at the end. It was 2, just even number 2. I can't give it a 0 like I did last week on NWA Power for that walkout match because there were moves being done. So it's 1 point for 2 people showing up, and a 2nd point for moves being done, even though they weren't very good. Moving on. Match number 5. Ooh, the one I've been waiting for all week. Cody versus MJF. The revenge match. Now, everyone wants Cody to win this match, obviously. After all the stuff Cody's been through with the 10 lashes to the back, the steel cage match with Wardlow, the not touching MJF until the thing, everyone wants him to win, but unfortunately that doesn't always happen in wrestling. Because if the superheroes always win, there's no more story to tell. So, yeah, it was amazing though. You had a lot of spots where MJF was just pulling everything out of his bag to cheat. He was cheating this way, that way. He's just like maybe someone else, Chris Jericho, the Inner Circle there. Yeah, he was cheating at every moment he could. He pulled everything out of his bag to win. But Cody kept fighting back, and Cody was selling everything great. Great match. They said that on that steel cage match with Wardlow that he had broken one of his toes. And they actually sold that. He sold it perfectly that he had a broken toe. It was really good storytelling on that part. There was even one part where MJF rips the boot off and makes Cody fight the rest of the whole match. From like the beginning of the match, he wrestled the whole match with that taped up foot, and you could see it and everything. And there was moments where MJF was like biting the broken toe and like stepping on it like a jerk and just walking around acting all pompous. The reason that Cody didn't win this because MJF pulled the ultimate heel move out, the ultimate cheat, sneaky heel move out of his arsenal. towards the very end of it, right at the very end of it actually, they had this moment where MJF was like begging and saying he was sorry because Cody had the upper hand. He was beating him down. Cody was going to win this. MJF was like crying, holding on his foot. You know, please, I'm sorry, man. I'll be your friend again. I didn't mean to double cross you, whatever. Yeah, didn't like that moment, but hey, it looked great for storyline wise. It looked awesome. Anyways, he gives him a hug and acts like everything's okay. He starts to turn around, pulls that diamond ring from his trunks when the ref wasn't looking, turns around, bam, hits Cody in the face with it. Full knockout. Full freaking knockout. It was great, man. A great back and forth emotional effort. Just amazing. I gave this match a 9 years out of 10. Alright, so we've got match number 6 of the night. Pac versus Orange Cassidy with the best friends. Now you're going to think to yourself, Orange Cassidy, he's that guy that puts his hands in his pockets. The king of sloth style. That's right, he is the king of sloth style. But you know what? This was my favorite match of the night. I don't know, I don't think it's like a sustainable work, but man, when you see this dude being so slow in the ring all the time and not giving a crap about anything, you know, Pac's like, come on, guy. You know, Pac was getting mad. Pac wanted to beat him down, but Pac played into it a little bit, and it worked really well. You know, he would pretty much pretend to not care, and then all of a sudden, bam, 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 Orange Cassidy comes busting out with all these moves all of a sudden, and then moving slow in between them. You're like, holy crap, dude, where did this dude come from? He's like basically like he's like the Silent Bob of wrestling. You don't know what he's going to say, and he's always quiet, but when he does say something, you listen. And I did listen with my eyeballs. Orange Cassidy, you impressed the crap out of me in this match. Now, Orange Cassidy will lose the match, but Pac puts him over in such a big way. I mean, Pac did amazing putting this guy over and selling everything he gave him. It looked incredible. This match was so much fun. I enjoyed it. I actually rewatched this match twice because it was so enjoyable. Like, it was, I can't even express how enjoyable this match was. It's probably not a sustainable thing, but if you want to watch a fun match, watch this one. Incredible. Pac takes the win via submission, and I would give this match rating a 9 years out of 10. Match 7, the final match, the championship for the AEW Championship. Who's it going to be? Jon Moxley or Chris El Champion Jericho? Now, I didn't know how this was going to go. There was multiple moments in this match where, man, I was like, you know, Chris was pulling every evil heel tactic. He had like every member of the Inner Circle cheating and busting Mox in the face when the ref wasn't looking. It's just, man, it was out of control. And there was one point, you know, Chris purposely at the beginning of the match was trying to like get disqualified so he didn't have to fight Mox. He took him out, they went out and was fighting in the stands. And this is not a weapons match. This is a normal championship match. And he was hitting them with everything he could find in the stands, you know, around all the people and stuff. And I'm like, you know, Aubrey's like, nope, not gonna DQ you. Get in that ring and fight. Good job. There was a couple moments where Chris pushed her and she, you know, just to try to get a DQ, and nope, didn't happen. But man, I could have swore like everybody was saying that there's no way Chris is going to lose this match. There is no freaking way. You know, how does that help AEW if Chris loses? I don't know, but I'll tell you what, this match was a grueling grudge match all the way to the end, man. All the way to the end. I mean, it was like watching pro wrestling, but a Rocky Balboa movie. It was a Rocky fight to the death. It was so freaking good. There was even one point where Jericho, like power slams Mox into the bell table and hits his head, and it busts and blood's coming out. It's just crazy. But then, you know, after all these beatdowns and every finisher, and you know, a lion salts out the butt and freaking Walls of Jericho multiple times, you know, Mox just keeps fighting and keeps fighting. all these inner circle guys are cheating over and over, and finally Aubrey ejects every single one of them and let them finish it themselves like men. And whew, man, just a great freaking match. I mean, honestly, there's not really much to say on it more. It's just you gotta go watch it. It was to me, it was match of the night. It was just crazy. I mean, Mox will take the win. Woo! The reign of the champion is over. Now, what will happen next week, we'll see. I'm sure there's some more to the story, but Mox is the new AEW champion. He takes out, oh yeah, before I tell you how he wins this match. So this last, 3 or 4 weeks with the eye patch and stuff, Jericho, believed solely this thing, and they had an eye for an eye match with Mox and Santana. But this whole time they think his eyes messed up. Now, I knew from the beginning this was a work, because there was a moment where in one of the matches 2 weeks ago, Mox's eye patch gets moved, and I don't think the camera was supposed to show it, but his eye wasn't messed up. So from that moment I knew it was a work. So there's a moment where Mox gets thrown into the corner or whatever, and Jericho turns around, and then Mox pulls that eye patch away there, and he just like has his eyes just wide like a wild animal. And then oh yeah, everyone looks, and the announcer says, "It's a work, it's a work." He's playing possum, whatever. Jericho turns around right into the paradigm shift. Done. Mox, new champion. He totally fell for Mox's plan, and he deserves it, man. They put one hell of a match on. It was a great show. Other than the women's match and the Dustin match, which was average from a percentage standpoint, 85% of the show was amazing. It was a great pay-per-view, guys. Go check it out, and we'll see you next time. Thanks for sticking around for my review of AEW Revolution, and I will see you next time. And remember to keep it retro.